this week we're going to carry on building our bridge and put a little bit more track down. Trying to check the height of my bridge. That fits under there okay. I need to work out which height is the correct one. Maybe I can bring it back up a little bit. So I'm not quite sure. Trying to work it out. Well, this section of the bridge, well, this is a piece of wood I chopped out. So I need to cut that back into place so that we can then connect that up with the bridge going over the railway line. So I'm going to need to cut out a hole here. I've got to get my pen. I'm going to mark on the foam where I need to cut. So somewhere there and somewhere there. And then now I'm going to need to cut out this section of foam so that the piece of the track base will go in there. So we cut that section out. And now I'm going to test to see whether the board will fit back in again. Where's my piece of board? So then that goes in there. So yeah, that fits in there nicely. So that's where that's supposed to go. I'm quite happy just watching these go round now. I don't know if I need to do anything else. Just sit here relaxing, watching them. When you get a new locomotive, you have to run it in. So you run it in 30 minutes in one direction, and then you run it 30 minutes backwards. So that's how you run in your locomotives. Standard process for a new train. So I'm going to sit here for 30 minutes watching it go around like this, and then 30 minutes go around backwards. Choo-choo! While the train's going round, I'm going to be looking at my plan to see where that bridge goes in. So I've got to make a few adjustments, and obviously I have to find out the way for the train every time it comes past. But yeah, we'll look at this bridge. So that's going to go somewhere about there, like that. So I'm going to just cut some pieces of wood that will go in this section here, so to support the bridge. I'm going to mark up some bridge supports. So I'm going to need to cut out 4 pieces of the wood for my bridge support. So I am going to draw my template on the wood, so I know where to cut. So I've got that piece I need to cut there. So, and then I can get the bridge just to make sure. So he's going on somewhere about there. No. Let's put the bridge on there. So I need to cut out here. So pieces like this. So I'm going to need 4 pieces like that. So once I've got 4 of those, then that's going to be used for the bridge support on one side of the track. Well, you can get the idea how the bridge comes over and then goes down there, down to that section. I think I'm going to need to get the track out really, just to make sure that everything's fitting okay. So this is how the track looks going over the bridge. I've reassembled the bridge. I've slightly raised up the bottom track going under. I've reassembled the bridge, and this is our first test run. So I am hoping that it is not going to hit the bridge and we'll be all right. Here we go. Hurrah! It all fits. So that's good. So I've brought the bottom track up slightly, so that makes it easier for the trains to get up the hill, because at the moment I don't have any magnets. And yeah, the bridge is at the same height as it was before, and the trains still have clearance, as you can see, just. So it's all down to the millimetres. I've raised it about 2 millimetres, so it definitely helps. The train was going up before with 2 carriages, just about, and now it's going up with 3. So I'm very pleased with the result. I'm going to just cut away a bit of the foam here, so we can check out our tunnel portal. Give it a bit of a carve. There's some foam. Yeah, see if we can get our little tunnel portal in. There you go. I've got to cut away a bit more foam. Now we're going to check the clearance with the train, see how he does, and hopefully he'll fit through okay. That's our first tunnel portal in place. Hey, there he goes. Very good. Here I am taking some other pieces of wood and gluing them to the bottom. That's supporting that lower track there. It does move around a little bit, so this is just adding some stability so that we can put in the plaster cloth as well. I'm trying to work out where to put this tunnel portal. Now, I was originally going to be putting it forwards, but that doesn't really go well there because the bridge is too close. So I think I'm going to put it back. Now, somewhere like there would be nice, but then I've got a problem getting it down because I've got a bit of wooden frame there. So I'm probably going to have to put it a little bit behind. So maybe somewhere about there, probably. Somewhere there. What do you think, guys? Yeah, so I've got to cut a bit of a hole in the side to drop that down, and then we can I'll fix the piece of wood in place. I'm not going to fix the actual portal in, but I'll put the bit of wood behind in place so we can then attach the tunnel portal later. So I've got to cut out the sides on the wood, and then we'll make sure that that all fits. I've cut the portal into the track, so you can see now how that goes, and also we need to check the clearance. So we'll send a train through just to make sure it's all good. And there you go. All the clearance is fine, so a train will go through no problem. So that tunnel portal is a good place. So now I can start putting the plaster cloth on all these other areas to cover up all of the holes. So safety is important when we're building our model railway, so it's always good to have some plasters around, just in case you cut your hand or your finger like I just did. Before I start making a mess with all the plaster cloth, I'm going to put some tape down over the track so we can cover that so it doesn't get dirty when I'm doing the plaster cloth, because that will get a bit messy, I think. So I'm just going to cover this whole track up to protect it. Here we are putting on the plaster cloth for that cutting, double layer of course, and then we're going to be adding in some plaster on top of it. While I've been waiting for the other plaster to dry, I've cut out some more foam pieces for the mounting. So you can see this one's a little bit wider apart, so the tunnel's a bit bigger than the other one. But anyway, we'll put another piece over the top and it will be fine. So we're going to carve it and make it a different shape. So I'll get Sylvia out to help me with that so she can decide how she wants her mounting. I'm going to glue down this first piece of scenery over this side. I'm going to use something I'm using a filler. This is a glue and a filler. So it will fill the gap and also stick it. So that will be useful in this section here, because I'm not quite sure if it's gone below the level. So I'll do that. Yeah. And then I'm going to put on some PVA glue on there as well. So we've got the other PVA glue to go on. It's like icing a cake. And then we're going to put on the form. And then we're going to get some bricks and put our bricks on top. Weight it down. Well, we'll leave that till tomorrow, and then it will all be dried out. I'm going to start putting down some more track. So I want to work on this section here. It's quite complicated. As you can see, there's a lot of turnouts, a lot of points all here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's 10 of them in this area. So it's going to get a little bit complicated. So I just want to sort of see how they look. So I've got them out. This track here, of course, we've already fixed that down. So now I've got to start thinking about how these are laid out as well. So we're just going to get a rough idea where these are all going, put them into place, and then we can see how that's going to work out. Then I've got to cut a little bit of track that goes in here, and of course there's another piece of track that will cut and go in there as well. And then we've got some sidings that are coming down here. I'll leave those till a little bit later maybe. But yeah, once I've got these in place, then I can cut this section here. It should be according to the plan. So we have section number 10, which is for that particular piece. And section number 10 should be, according to the list, 339 millimeters, so nearly 34 centimeters, apparently. So, actually, no, that's the wrong one. Number 5. Look, there you go. See, I already made a mistake. So number 10 is the inside loop. Number 5 is the outside loop. Here we go again. So yeah, 163. There you go, 16 centimeters. So I need a straight piece of track about 16 centimeters. But I'll probably try and get these points in and then measure the actual track once I put it in. I've got all the points, put together. I've just drilled tiny little holes where the point motors go. So I'm going to have to remove it all, drill my point motor holes, and then put it all back and then fix them all down. The plaster's still a little bit wet the following morning, but I can take the tape off. So here we go, get some tape off. But you can see underneath that it's generally protected the track. So the track has stayed nice and clean because we have that tape on. And then we can paint there you go. I can just hoover up the little bits of mess. But we can then paint over all of the sides. Inside the tunnel area is going to be black. And then outside, of course, we're going to paint it some different colours. Paint's still wet, but yeah, looking better. We're getting there. Thanks for joining me. See you again.
8:30 p.m.